Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ole Walls House! Let's get fucking listening, baby! Yes!
Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode number 98, ladies and gentlemen, is coming your way. So thank you. Appreciate everybody for coming back and checking out another week of Ole Walls House. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate the support. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll just get started with that housekeeping like we always do. If you guys could, please rate, review, comment, subscribe, share. Let somebody know about Ole Walls House. I'd appreciate that. Fun show coming your way. Got some NFL talk. We're talking the Packers. Got some college football to talk about. All sorts of things in that range. We're talking the Philadelphia Flyers. That's the 5-game winning streak Philadelphia Flyers. We're also going to have my passing thoughts, which include a number of things from golf and other sports and, just shenanigans and what I'm watching and what's going on. So fun show coming up. Before we get there, little Liquid IV ad here. So, I always tell you guys, you don't got to be world-class athlete to worry about your hydration. Proper functional hydration is essential, and Liquid IV is the number one power hydration brand in America. Their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing. What do I love about it? I like that it's easy. You get that little packet, comes in great flavors. Some examples being sea berry, strawberry lemonade, Concord grape, lemon lime, pina colada, tropical punch, watermelon, strawberry, passion fruit, guava, acai berry. And it's just one little packet. You dump it in 16 ounces of water, and it hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. It contains those 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and, of course, vitamin C. 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks, made with quality ingredients, non-GMO, free from dairy, gluten, and soy. And, of course, Liquid IV believes that equitable access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world, and they have given away over 39 million servings in 50-plus countries around the world. So here's what you do. You go to liquidiv.com or the link down in the show notes below, and you go to promo code OWH, O for Ole, W for Walls, H for House. Gets you 20% off. So liquidiv.com, the link in the show notes below, one of the two, go to it, promo code OWH. All right, let's get to the show. It's NFL time. All right, another week of the NFL down. What week was this? This was week 11. Week 11 down. We are on to week 12. Week 12 next, starting Thursday with a triple header on Thursday. And we got games on Friday, too. Great football weekend up ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. Just absolutely fantastic coming our way. So let's start with my Green Bay Packers. We are teetering on the edge of worst case scenario. A win over the Los Angeles Chargers, who do everything in their power to lose, and the Packers do everything in their power to secure a win. Tied at halftime, and the Packers end up going on to win the game. They score a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Romeo Doubs is found by Jordan Love. Jordan Love has himself a good game. Not going to lie. Not going to sugarcoat it. Now, I guess that's not sugarcoating it. It would be, maybe it could be sugarcoating if you go it the wrong way. I don't know. Whatever. Jordan Love has a good game. And I think the issue here is we're teetering on that worst case scenario that's out there that I was worried about. The Packers steal a game from the Chargers here. If you just go down the stat line, like the team stats, everything's pretty close to even. Jordan Love has probably his best game as an NFL starter. Goes 27 of 40, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones gets hurt again. It seems kind of serious again. It looks like, man, not trading him might come back to haunt us in the long run. A couple of guys who I've been, very high on recently continue to have nice games. Romeo Dobbs obviously catches the game-winning touchdown. He also has 4 other receptions, only 53 yards, but again, it feels like he's doing the right stuff. Jaden Reed does a little bit of everything. Catches 4 balls for 46 yards, runs it 3 times for 46 yards, so 46 and 46. Those guys keep showing some real promise. The ghost of Christian Watson showed up and caught a touchdown pass in the second half as well. So, the Packers showed some good things. And again, I'm worried, though, that the Chargers seem to be in a little bit of disarray. Would be the nice way to say it. They're getting questions in the postgame to Staley about if he's going to call a defense. And he's trying the Nick Saban, I'm gonna, so quit asking. But, didn't work out quite the same. But I keep mentioning this worst case scenario that the Packers, and I talked about it last week. The Packers are now 4-6. Where are we in the standings here? Let's swing over to the standings real quick for the NFC North. 4-6. The lead in the NFC North is 8-2. The Lions. Doesn't seem catchable. They'd have to win pretty much every game, and then the Lions would have to lose 4 games coming home just to tie. So I don't see that happening. 6-5 is the Vikings. If you go around, we'll get more into this later, but they're not really in the playoff hunt right now. They're going to have some good wins. The catch is, as I've said, those wins were out there. But I think those wins are out there once the team gets to 4-8, because they go to Detroit on Thursday on Thanksgiving. I believe both their Detroit games were they played. Yeah, both their Detroit games, they played the Lions on a Detroit on a Thursday earlier in the week. So both Lions games on Thursdays this year, coincidentally enough. But they played the early game on Thanksgiving, and I don't see it going well. I mean, the Lions are playing good ball. The Packers dominated them last time in Lambeau. I don't see a difference. The Chiefs then come to town next week, or the following week, whatever you want to call it, and I don't see that going well. So now all of a sudden the Packers are 4-8. 4-8. And then we have that end of the season stretch with the Giants, who did just get themselves a win, the Buccaneers, who can't seem to figure it out, the Panthers, who seem to stink, the Vikings, God knows what you're getting by then, the Bears, who kind of stink but did just give the Lions a thing. So just say they lose to the Lions and the Chiefs. Again, 4-8. Now, if they win the next 5 at 9-8, are we talking about possibly sneaking into the playoffs? I don't know. Yeah, so last place right now is the 6-5 Vikings. And then it does have the Packers. The Packers are actually 8th at 4-6. Shocking enough. Granted, they have to make up some ground. And if you do, you look at the teams also out there in the playoff hunt. The Rams are in 9th. They're not ready to die yet. The Falcons, I mean, both those teams, the Packers, the Packers lost to the Falcons. Shouldn't have, but they beat the Rams pretty easily. But again, that was without Stafford. And then the Bucs, who we'll see, and then the Commanders and Giants and Bears and Cardinals and Panthers all the way at the end there. So the Packers are just one slot out of the playoffs, but a couple of games back of the Vikings. So maybe 9-8's out there. I'm not going to say getting to the playoffs is worst case scenario. I'm not there. I don't think it's a bad thing to ever make the playoffs. You never fucking know. Get to the playoffs. There's some injuries happen to other teams. Some injuries could happen to you. You never know. So I'm never in making the playoffs as a bad thing. If we get to the playoffs, and trust me, I'm rooting for them to make the playoffs. I just don't see it is the issue. Even if, just say they lose to the Lions and Chiefs, which again I don't think we're on a limb saying that. They have to win those last 5 games to go 9-8. I mean, they've kind of proven throughout the year. I mean, just playing the Steelers last week, they blew that game. They blew the game against the Broncos. I just don't see there being a 5-0 stretch coming in. I see it like a 4-1, maybe even a 3-2, and then we're talking 7-10, 8-9, instead of then we're just drafting 13th. I think that's the worst case scenario. And I don't think it's just strictly the worst case scenario because it's a bad draft pick. I think it's a worst case scenario because then we get locked into this kind of mediocrity. We're close. we're close. And I was texting about this with big cat Bill Gardner. And he's like, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to get the same story that like, oh, we're close, we're going to get there. And he's like, yeah. And then they're going to trot out the same fucking team next year. And it's so true. Like, they're not going to do anything. They're going to draft fucking terribly. So it's frustrating because, wanting that team to lose that you root for is weird. But at the same time, wins don't feel gratifying because it's like, oh God, it's just giving this fucking terribly run organization an excuse to stick with the status quo and be like, oh, we're close. And Lambeau's always going to fill up unless, Lambeau filled up through forever. I think even through like the 80s when this team was dog shit. So like Lambeau's going to fill up, and I'm 167,000th on the season ticket list. So like that's not going to be an issue to like persuade the management group. And like I said, there's no owner that runs this team that's like, hey, we got to win now. So I'm worried. We're going to get stuck in this train of mediocrity where we're just kind of locked in. We're like, oh, we're close. And then they don't do anything. They don't make any bold adjustments. They don't take any steps to do anything to try and win and win now. And yeah. And I don't think Jordan Love's the answer. Maybe I'll eat my words. And again, I'd much rather be wrong about thinking Jordan Love's not it. If Jordan Love like all of a sudden balls out the rest of the year and is like is showing himself to be a quality starting quarterback, like I'd much rather that than be like trying to guess in the draft. Like, I'm saying go get Caleb Williams or Drake May. It's like those guys could fucking suck. Like it would be much better to have a known quantity. And if that known quantity was our guy and you could sign him to a contract and you have him in the system and you kind of know what you're dealing with, like that's a way better option. I just don't see it. But either way, Love shows his best. I'm not convinced. The Chargers are a mess. There's a reason they're asking if Brandon Staley's going to keep calling the plays on defense. So, like, that's not a mistake that those questions are being asked. So, Boomer's come to join me down here. Looks like he's going to try and get in my chair and sit in it. Let's see if he whines because a blanket is in the way. Looks like the blanket's on the top of the chair. He's looking. No decision yet. Okay, we're moving on. And we're moving on from the Packers and the Chargers here. I'll just say, Chargers repeatedly finding ways to lose games. Just repeatedly finding ways to lose games. They're now dead last in their division. They're 4-6 as well. The Chiefs are 7-2. The Broncos with another win last night. We'll get there. Yeah, they're in trouble. The Chargers are in trouble. Brandon Staley, I think, is in trouble. I think he's on the hot seat. Just a Boomer update. He did find himself into my chair and is getting all buckled in. Thursday night, we had what we thought was going to be a great game. Ravens-Bengals, and Joe Burrow goes down with an injury after throwing a touchdown pass and is now done for the year, I believe. That was the last I saw, unless something changed. Ruled out for the season. And the weird thing is, there was a video posted of him getting off the team bus earlier in the week, with some sort of soft cast on his hand. I can't figure out where I want my mic today. Some sort of soft cast on his hand, but he wasn't on the injury report. So the Bengals could be in for a little bit of trouble. Here's an interesting one. I just searched Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow will face plenty of doubters moving forward. Doubt him at your own, and then it's cut off, so I have to click on it now. Now I'm waiting for it to load. Thought I was supposed to have good. Do so at your own risk. Doubt him at your own risk. That was November. Yeah, that's today. So it's Joe Burrow's been really bit by the injury bug throughout his career, unfortunately. So the Bengals are pretty much done. Ravens atop that division. The Browns, chasing up behind them. Speaking of the Browns, they get a big win. They get a big win for themselves over the Steelers. They're led by Dorian Thomas Robinson at the helm. He gets them a win. They win on a last-second field goal, and the Steelers finally lose a game in that way. I should point out, I didn't watch a ton of football on Sunday. I had a birthday party I attended, so I was catching pieces and bits and here and there. So um, not a ton of notes from games themselves, just kind of situations and things of that like. Um, the Lions, they found a way to stage a little fourth quarter comeback to get past the Bears, who I had in a parlay to win. Obviously, that parlay was up in smoke there. It also was up in smoke with the fucking disaster that was the Tennessee Titans. Fucking dicks. I don't remember what the last leg of it was, but I'm sure it probably didn't fucking hit either. Who cares? What was the last leg of it? Oh, it was the Browns. It was the Browns. I had the Browns. Cowboys beat up on another bad team. That was closer than the final score. They got 16 points in the fourth quarter. It was 17-10 going into the fourth quarter before a 21-yard run by Pollard, an interception return for a TD, and then a field goal. So yeah, the Cowboys let the Panthers hang around for a while before pulling their usual get out and put the boat racing on. The Dolphins. They hung on and survived a kind of a pesky Raiders team that wasn't willing to go away. So there was that. The Rams, not quite ready to call it quits. They beat the Seahawks. Seahawks missed a last-second field goal. I had made it back to my TV by then. I had the Seahawks giving, I think, 2.5. Or no, maybe just 1. Whatever it was. Would have won me my bet. That fucking thing wasn't going in. The Giants, they're alive. They're people. Tommy DeVito leading the Giants. They blow out the Commanders. Wow. Wowza. Tommy DeVito picked him up in my fantasy team. Too bad the rest of the team sucks. He threw for 3 touchdowns. Bills and Jags get bounce back wins. The Bills after they fired Ken Dorsey. The Jags had been struggling at home this year, I believe I saw. So they get a win over the Titans. Obviously, I had picked the Titans in a kind of a long shot parlay there. 49ers, back in the win column. And turns out Purdy, not a pumpkin. He has himself a nice day, 21-25, 333 yards and 3 touchdowns. So not a bad day from Purdy. The Purdy Pumpkin Watch is going to take a step back. It's going to take a step back this week. So that wraps up the main stuff that happened this week. Like I said, great weekend for football. We have Thursday football on Thanksgiving. There's plenty of college football on Friday, as well as college football, as well as NFL football on Friday. The Jets, who stink, by the way, Zach Wilson, I believe, is questionable to start if they might be going in a different direction. Tim Boyle? Is Tim Boyle there? But they play on Black Friday, 2:00 after, you get Packers-Lions, which is a good matchup, Cowboys-Commanders, so the Cowboys should blow them out. And then Niners-Seahawks Thursday night in the rotating night game. What other good matchups we got? We got Bengals-Steelers, a couple of teams trying to figure out what they're going to do in the bottom half of that vaunted AFC North. The Browns and the Broncos. Not necessarily a game you would have circled at the start of the year, probably. But the Broncos alive after winning late last night. Man, just an interesting thing. The Broncos now in second place in the AFC West. They're looking to get themselves into playoff contention as well, which is very interesting. Where are they sitting right now? Steelers still in the playoffs, by the way. So that Steelers-Bengals game matters. The Bills not in the playoffs currently if the season were to end today. The Broncos would be 10th. The Bengals 11th. So yeah, that's a big game for the Steelers to try and hold off some teams sneaking up in the playoff picture on them. Saints Falcons. I mean that matters in that crappy NFC South. All right, yeah, Saints Falcons. Those are the leaders. The Saints are 5-5. The Falcons are 4-6. The Bucks are 4-6 right there too. So I mean, that division is still wide open. Chiefs Raiders, Bills Eagles. Can the Bills take this kind of newfound, good feeling? I got a good feeling, and move it forward against the Eagles. Obviously, we'll know more about what the Eagles are going to be coming with after tonight, there will be a Monday night edition. So don't worry. I will be talking Eagles Chiefs tonight. So yeah, that's what's coming next week. And again, Bills Dolphins. The Bills are 6-5. Dolphins are 7-3. Close division up there. The Broncos are hanging around with that AFC West, but still the Chiefs division to lose. Even if they were to lose tonight, they'd still be 2 games clear of the Broncos, who are on a 4-game win streak, by the way. That AFC North, the Browns hanging around. Dorian Thomas Robinson, how much can he guide them? Can he take them? How far can he take them? The Texans, who are hanging around in the AFC South, just staying right on the heels of the Jags. They're winners of 3 in a row. The Colts, not dead, 5-5, not dead at all, not dead at all. NFC East, again, I think still the Eagles lose. Cowboys are 7-3, but I think the Cowboys' schedule gets extremely dicey going forward. Let me find that. Dallas Cowboys. I think they play like a murderer's row coming up. So they got the Commanders on Thanksgiving. They play next Thursday as well against the Seahawks. Then they have Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. Yeah, so from December 10th to December, their games in December. They have 4 games in the month of December, and they are big games. So you get 7:20, so that's a Monday night game. So that's Eagles, Cowboys on Monday night. Then they have 2 3:25 games, in December, and then Christmas Eve. And then, are there Christmas NFL games this year? We'll look. So yeah, Cowboys, tough beat there. Again, Seahawks hanging around out in the NFC West, but the 49ers take the lead in that division this week. I still think the NFC North is the Lions to lose, and then we mentioned that NFC South. Wide open. Elsewhere, Aaron Rodgers has reportedly told the Jets he plans to start practicing around December 2nd. So that is wild. And there was a list of quarterbacks who are starting quarterbacks now. The Bengals, Jake Browning moving forward, Kenny Pickett for the Steelers, Gardner Minshew for the Colts, Will Levis for the Titans, Aiden O'Connell for the Raiders, the aforementioned Dorian Thomas Robinson for the Browns, Zach Wilson, who stinks, for the Jets, Jordan Love for the Packers, Tommy DeVito for the New York Giants, and Baker Mayfield for the Bucs. So interesting group. All right, yeah, that's all for this part of the NFL. Monday night addendum coming up next. Super Bowl rematch on Monday Night Football, and it was sloppy, but I think it lived up to the hype. Eagles come out with the win, moved to 9-1. Chiefs dropped to 7-3. I don't think, I'm not going to write off the Chiefs or anything here. I don't think this is a detrimental loss. I mean, the fucking Eagles are a good football team. And they're 9-1 for a reason. There's just no doubt about that. And Chiefs still can control their own destiny to home field advantage in that bye. I believe I saw they must play the Ravens down the stretch here as I'm saying this. But yeah, a game in which the Chiefs led at halftime and are held scoreless in the second half. No, the Chiefs do not play the Ravens coming home. So they will need a little help from the Ravens too. Did they play the Ravens already? They did not, but they can still finish with the same record as them and maybe get a tiebreak somehow. I did see something that they control their own destiny somehow, so I don't know how it is, but apparently it's out there. But yeah, just a good gutty win from the Philadelphia Eagles. Go into one of the toughest places to play, Arrowhead, on a rainy night, and they don't have the lead, and again they hold the Chiefs scoreless in the second half. The Chiefs I saw have scored the fewest second half points in the NFL, which is pretty fucking wild. Yeah, just a nutty Just a nutty kind of stat. But Chiefs losers of two of their last three. Funny enough, and then one other loss earlier in the year at the start of the year to the Lions. So they do have an easier kind of road coming up here. They have the Raiders and the Packers before they get the Bills and then the Patriots, who aren't very good. Not a lot of tough games at the end of the year. I mean, they have the Chargers, the Bengals, who are going to be severely limited. They do play Christmas Day against the Raiders as well. So, plenty of ways for them to win out going in. Tonight, just a big boy drive by the Eagles in the fourth quarter, about halfway through. I think it was 6:20. They scored to take their first lead of the game. They get the Chiefs get a bad break on a false start penalty late that should have been an offsides. It goes from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 13. They don't end up picking that up. Travis Kelce did have a big drop on 3rd and 2 with just over 2 minutes, about 2:18. That would have picked up the first down. He did end up making catches on the next 2 plays back to back as the 2-minute warning hit, and then MVS drops a big deep ball. Sorry, Chiefs fans. I've seen that one before. I've seen that happen. That one has happened all too often. All too often. The Chiefs, I heard, have the most drops in the NFL as well. Patrick can't throw it and catch it. That's a famous saying around the league. So good game, sloppy game. Chiefs turned it over, I think, 2 times in the red zone. Mahomes for the interception. I think there was one other. But hey, gutty win from the Eagles. I think it says a lot more about the Eagles than it says about the Chiefs. Not worried about the Chiefs in this, I don't think, but that says a lot about the Eagles. The Eagles with a big, just gutty win to beat, avenge the Super Bowl rematch. I think in the last 4 times it's happened, the team that's won the Super Bowl has also won the rematch. The Eagles have a hellish stretch coming up here, so good to get a win. They host the Bills next week, host the 49ers after that, then go to Dallas, go to Seattle. So a tough stretch there. Their final 3 games, host the Giants, host the Cardinals, at the Giants. Not as tough, but the next 4 weeks is kind of murderer's row for them. So we're going to find out a lot about them here going forward. Another week in NFL complete. The Eagles are the class of the NFL now. We can say that. We're going to find out how tested, how they're going to get tested quite a bit the next couple weeks as well. So fun stretch ahead. All right, let's move on. All right, some college football now. Kind of the big, the big game of the weekend that turned out to be the most interesting was Washington at Oregon State. It was just an absolute fucking downpour. And Washington holds on to win late, 22-20 victory. And I have issues here. Washington didn't score in the second half. I didn't see the second half, but I saw the first half. I was watching some of the first half. Washington scored a touchdown at the end of the first half to go up 22-10. The end of the first half. Yeah, this was in the first half. And they go for 2 and don't get it. So now they're up 12. I get where they were going. They wanted to get up 14. But I talked about this with Penn State and Michigan. Why are we chasing points in the first half? Why are we doing it? I don't think there's a payoff to it. I don't think it's a smart decision. If I could really figure out where the fuck I want this mic today, it'd make my life feel better. But I think I just don't think chasing points in the first half is good business to get involved with. And it's always, hindsight's always 50-50, right? Like, oh, I gotcha. Or hindsight's 20-20. Hindsight's 20. It's not fucking 50-50. What an idiot I am. Hindsight's always 20-20. Oregon State, I didn't see the end of the game. I don't know if they actually had a chance, but if Oregon State would have had a chance, and they were fucking pouring, so they would have had to get pretty close probably. They could have won the game with a field goal late in the game instead of just tying it if you're just taking the fucking points. Just take the fucking points in the first half. Kick the fucking field goal. Kick it. Just kick it. What else? What else happened? Oregon. Well, we're talking about Oregon and Oregon State over here. Oregon absolutely boat races Arizona State, as does Ohio State to Minnesota, Florida to North Alabama. The catch is Florida State to North Alabama, not Florida. Florida State's quarterback, Jordan Travis, has a bad injury, a bad leg injury. So I'm imagining he's out for the year. I didn't check. I mentioned Florida. They lost to Missouri. So Gator chomp. Yes, yes. Notre Dame also, while we're on the boat racing level, Notre Dame boat races, Wake Forest. And can we talk about how fucking good Georgia is? Georgia just giving it to Tennessee. Saw some of that too. Georgia, very, very good at football. By far the best team in the country. Very excited that we get them and Alabama in the SEC title game that's already set. That is set and ready to go, I believe, already. Bama has Auburn next week. Georgia heads over to play Georgia Tech in their final game of the year. Why is it not showing up? I scroll online, it only shows me some of the games. What else have I missed? Let me double check. See if there's anything I missed when I was scrolling the online option for the games from last week. Tulane, Louisville outlast Miami, Michigan in a closer one than they probably bargained for with Maryland. It got as close as 29-24. What a weird number. There's a safety late in the game. Arizona beats Utah. That wasn't showing up for me so much. Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina loses to Clemson, who's kind of bringing up some wins here later in the year. Kansas State beats Kansas. Interesting. The big news is Illinois and Iowa. That goes under, ladies and gentlemen. That is under 30.5 at 15-13. Appalachian State ruins the day of James Madison. James Madison, has been in the news. I have a picture of a tweet I grabbed here. NCAA earlier last week denied a waiver to make James Madison and Jacksonville State Bowl eligible, meaning the Dukes are ineligible to play in the Sun Belt title game, sources told Action Network. This is all being tweeted by Brett McMurphy. In its second year transitioning from FCS, what used to be 1AA, to FBS, Football Bowl subdivision, JMU is ineligible for the league title, but the Dukes appealed because of their 10-0 start. JMU and JSU can still play in a bowl if there are not 82 bowl-eligible teams. Action Network is projecting there will not be enough bowl-eligible teams, allowing JMU and JSU to play in a bowl. First of all, 82 bowl-eligible teams is what they need every year. Holy shnikes, maybe a couple less bowls. Next. Why should there be a waiting period when you go from FCS to FBS? What's the fucking point? Let the kids fucking play. Let them go to the bowl. Let them go to their league championships. If the teams can transition from what is the lesser of the two leagues to the better of the two leagues, and they can do it successfully, who gives a fuck? Of course the NCAA would have some stupid-ass rule, and that the NCAA, when appealed, would make the wrong decision. I don't know why anyone is shocked about that. The NCAA sucks. And Pat McAfee was hosting a show from James Madison and probably hamming it up a little bit, but I loved it. Find it online. I've retweeted it myself. I'm sure it's out there 1,000 other times. He went absolutely off on the NCAA, and I absolutely loved it. There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to play in their league championship. If I met the criteria, as Isaiah Thomas would say, they should be able to play. They should be able to play for the title. They should be able to play in a bowl. It's just fucking stupid that wouldn't be the case. But leave it to the NCAA to do something stupid. So I love that people were ripping them. Absolutely love it. Penn State beat Rutgers, by the way. covered late because James Franklin likes to run up the score late. They scored 14 in the fourth quarter after being up 10-6 after one. Yeah, no, we're on our way. 10-win season. I did see some stuff. I did get some pushback from some people out there on my James Franklin needs to go take. Okay, I feel you. Again, he is 50. He is what 87-38 now at Penn State. Fair. I laid out all the bad stuff last week. He did come in a couple years after the scandal. He wasn't the first guy. It was, it was Bill O'Brien was there first and went 8-4 and 7-5 or something like that. When James Franklin got there, they did get back into being allowed to play in bowls, and then did go to a bowl and win a bowl game. So a tough couple of first seasons, which to be expected. I don't love hearing James Franklin got to save the program. I would say Bill O'Brien did that. Like, let's give credit where credit's due. Bill O'Brien, I think, saved the program. And there have been, multiple double-digit win seasons, 2016, 2017, 2019, and 2022. Looks like we're heading for another one this year, as long as you beat Michigan State at the end of the year. There's no beating Michigan or Ohio State. And then, there have been some years since then. There was the 2020 and the 2021 year where they went 4-5 and 7-6. Not great. And, I did see LeVar Arrington being like, beating Ohio State and Michigan, that's not for us. That's for Ohio State and Michigan to do. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, Joe Pa didn't beat them all the time. Cool. Like, let's just, say, this guy, who fucking Joe Pa. Who cares? Fucking, he was really good at letting kids get fucking raped. So let's not fucking compare fucking shit to him. Fuck that guy. Fuck him a lot. Hope he's getting fucking fucked right now, for all I care. Like, why is LeVar Arrington like, beating Ohio State and Michigan's not for us? Fuck you. God, I just can't stand that fucking attitude. And I'm trying to give fucking James Franklin a little props here. She's fucking trying. But, like, fuck, man. Fuck. I disagree. For those people, for the pushback, no, I disagree. He ain't the answer. There have been some bad ones in there, too. Is all I'm saying. Like, this hasn't just been all gravy train the whole time. Okay. I think I'm done. Talking about fucking Penn State. James Franklin. Next week, let's look forward. Couple of games. We have a Friday games, like I said. Oregon State at Oregon. That's a Friday. Can Oregon State, they weren't able to play spoiler to Washington. Can they play spoiler to Oregon? We have the big game on Saturday, Ohio State and Michigan right at noon. We have Bama at Auburn, Georgia, and like I said, Georgia and Bama set for the SEC title game. Louisville and Florida State will be set for the ACC title game. And also next week, Iowa and Nebraska are playing. The over-under is set at, please, 26.5. Holy shit. That's low. I think 27.5 was the previous low from Iowa earlier this year. So, yikes. All right. I think I'm going to college football for this week. Let's move on. Right there, boys. Right there. Philadelphia Flyers. That's what we're fucking talking about. That's a sweep this week. That's a 3-0 week with wins over the Carolina Hurricanes, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. 3 in a row this week. 5 in a row total. Winners of 5 in a row. How about it? The current longest win streak in the NHL. They've moved up to 2nd in the division, 5th in the conference overall. They're in the playoff race right now. It's a good week. It's been a good couple of days. Dating back to, it's funny, when they lost to the Sharks, which was the last time they've lost, about 2 weeks ago, give or take. It'll be 2 weeks when this pod comes out. It felt like they'd just fallen right back into, what was going to be. It was going to be shit. They lost to the Kings. they'd split with the Sabres. They lost to the Hurricanes. They played pretty good against Hurricanes. They lost to the Ducks. Like, they'd had a rough go of it. But then all of a sudden, they lose to the winless Sharks at the time. Then they start peeling off wins. I didn't get to see a couple of those wins because they were out on the West Coast, but I've seen some of these wins. And boy, oh boy, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Philadelphia Flyers. I hope my hopes don't get dashed here shortly. Hockey contributor T-Man told me teams in playoff contention at Thanksgiving tend to do well historically. Hopefully that historical trend can keep up, because I'd like the Flyers to be relevant later in the year. It's fun when the teams you watch are relevant. It's not fun when the teams you watch suck ass. Let's do this. Let's keep this going. Again, I liked that in most of the games we're putting more shots on the goal than the opponents. And that didn't happen on Wednesday against the Hurricanes, but it was a 3-1 win nonetheless. With the Golden Knights, put more shots on goal. We won a game in overtime. We won a game on a Saturday. Sean Couturier with a little changeup late to score the game-winning goal. It's fun when your teams win. They beat the Blue Jackets. We got another week ahead of us that's got winnable games. Got 2 games this week against the Islanders. The Islanders, not good at all. We can win those games. Got to win at least one of them, you have to think. And then Friday, Black Friday, Friday afternoon. What a day of football and hockey. Day after Thanksgiving. Good times. Perfect excuse to not go out and shop is there's a lot of good stuff on TV to watch sports. The division leading New York Rangers are coming to Philly. They're 4 points ahead of us in the division. Picking up a win against them would be pretty nice. Another good sign for the Flyers. Positive goal differential. Scored more goals than they've allowed this year. +8. It's not the +18 that the Rangers have ahead of us. Oddly enough, the Penguins, who are 9-8, no overtime losses yet this year, 18 points, 3 points minus. They have a goal differential of 12, +12. But in the East, 8 is third after the Bruins, who are 13-1-2. They have a goal differential of 24. Have only allowed 32 goals this year. The Flyers are scoring goals, that's for sure. They're letting a lot up too. But the Flyers, so I said 24 and then 12 from the Penguins and then 18 from the Rangers. So fourth in goals, goal differential in the East. There's some teams out west that are scoring a lot of goals. The Canucks, holy shnikes, 30 goal differential. They've scored 75 goals this year. Believe that is the league lead. The league lead by 8 goals over the Knights, who have 67. I didn't see anybody in the East who'd scored that much. Lightning and Red Wings have scored 63 and 61. So, yeah. Ooh, woofda. But again, 3 games this week, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. They're winnable, boys. We can do this. We can keep this rolling. God, I hope they keep this rolling. God, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go Flyers. Here we go. Come on. Time for some passing thoughts. College basketball's back. UNC. I caught a little bit of their game when they played UC Riverside. They haven't really played a real game yet this year. They played Radford, Lehigh, and UC Riverside. They've handled them, mostly pretty easily. UC Riverside, that game was wider than it ended up, I believe, if I can remember correctly. Getting used to some new faces out there. RJ Davis and Armando Bacot are back, so a couple of familiar faces go some newer guys. They have UNI, University of Northern Iowa. Is that part of yes, that's part of the battle for Atlantis this week. 3-day event, 3 consecutive games. They play, like I said, Northern Iowa. Who else? Let's see who else is in this. I messed up my thing. I thought that Tennessee was coming to town this week. That would be next week that Tennessee, a highly ranked team, 7th in the country, will be coming to town. So the battle for Atlantis this week down in the Bahamas, which I think has kind of become a theme for Carolina to go to this thing. Take longer. Please take longer. I was unprepared, so, why not? While I'm waiting for this to load, first of all, there is Oh, good God. Now I'm confused. Just show me the fucking bracket. Okay. Here we go. The winner of the Carolina Northern Iowa game will play the winner of Villanova, V's up for Coach Jeffy, and Texas Tech. Then there's also Michigan and Memphis, and Arkansas and Stanford. So some good teams. Carolina catching, I would have to imagine, one of the easier first round games. So they tip off Wednesday, and then Friday. Yeah, Friday is would the championship game be? So 3 games, 3 days. It could be Villanova or Texas Tech, and then Michigan, Memphis, Arkansas, or Stanford in the final if they were to make it that far. So I do like college basketball. I do like to watch a little college basketball. I had fallen out of it, but I'm back. I think I'm back. Like I said, Carolina then has Tennessee comes to town next Wednesday before they start their one of those early conference games, and then they don't play any more conference games until after Christmas. So they just sneak the one in early December, and then after the new year they play all conference games for the rest of the year. Have that Kentucky game on the matchup. That's become kind of standard. They also play UConn in early December, who's a 5th ranked team in the country right now. UConn. Other college basketball stuff. There's a gentleman by the name of Seth Towns. Seth Towns, who is going to be starting his 8th year in college basketball. He's going to be playing for Howard. The NCAA did let this guy play, so that's a surprising win for them. But he originally started playing college basketball in 2016 in the 2016-2017 season. I still lived in Pennsylvania then. This guy has got to be about 26 by this point. So he played 2016-2017, 2017-2018 with Harvard. In the 18-19 and 19-20 years, he was injured. Ended up transferring to Ohio State in the 2020-2021 year. Plays that. Then is injured the next year at Ohio State, and then is a DNP in 2022-2023 last year for Ohio State, and is somehow granted to come back and play one more time. He's been in college since 2016. He's already earned 2 degrees thus far, so why not go for the triple, the trifecta, if you will. One final thing on college basketball. It's an absolute crime against humanity that the great tune Round Ball Rock, that used to be the theme song for the NBA on NBC, which was, which is most associated for me with the 90s Bulls, caught the very end of that watching some games, is now the theme music for the Big East. Like, I watched Butler play, I don't know, some fucking other scrub team the other day on Fox Sports 1, and they're playing Round Ball Rock to, lead us into it. Oh, they played Michigan State, who wasn't a total scrub team, but still, I'm listening to them play Round Ball Rock. It's like, what? That's not right. This isn't how it's supposed to be. This doesn't make sense. Anyway, another basketball-rated thing. There's been this thing out there. Clay Travis bet that a good, I think his term was a good state champion high school boys basketball team could beat a WNBA team. And it's since become the WNBA champions versus a good high school state basketball team. There are definitely high school boys basketball teams out there that the WNBA team would beat. But the good state champion teams, like the state champion teams out of your Phillies, your New York areas, your New Jerseys, any of your big city, state champion teams, out of the big tough areas, the highest class, the best class, they're going to fucking smoke a WNBA team. Those teams are filled with dudes who go D1, who are going to the pros, who are playing in Europe. If we're picking, and we're picking a real good high school state champion, or God forbid we start talking about an Oak Hill or something like that, those teams are gonna do some damage. Turn on, because they'll start playing some of those games on ESPN2 or something. Turn those on and let me know what you think. And if you think a WNBA team can compete with those guys, because they can't. That's the answer. They cannot. Staying in sports here. A lot of sports and passing thoughts that just didn't quite have a home elsewhere. Netflix jumped into some sporting coverage. They did the Netflix Cup. Caught some of that. It was cool. I didn't mind it. I liked it. I thought Bert Kreischer and Marshawn Lynch being on-course reporters was fucking hilarious, and I thought that was great. They did some funny things. Some of it didn't hit. There was a one where they had to hit while like a big doll's head was turned. Miss for me. I appreciate the try. I watched it. Some of it was fun. The speed hole was fun. Some of it, like I said, with the doll head missed. Playing down the stretch under the lights, always cool. Got some good personalities out there. You had Max Homa. You had, oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? The guy in commentary. Everybody loves me. Wears the bucket hat. Joel Damon was on commentary. I thought that was a good touch. So I liked it. But again, I'm a golf fan, and this led to something that the Barstool Foreplay pod guys asked: is golf trying too hard? And I thought it was a very good question. I don't always think that much of what Foreplay's golf coverage is that great, but I think that was a fantastic question. And I think what you always got to come down to in golf is it's a fucking niche sport, man. Like, these golfers want to get paid. They want to be playing for $25 million purses. Like, you don't have the viewership of NFL football for sure. Like, you don't have the viewership of the NBA, of college football. I don't even know how it matches up against MLB, but like, golf's a fucking niche sport. And outside of guys like Tiger that really like take it outside that lexicon, like, it's gonna be a niche sport. And yeah, it's good to try and grab some additional, viewership, but like, I just think there needs to be an understanding of what golf is. Like, it's never gonna be like the top of the food chain. Again, that said, I enjoyed the Netflix Cup. I'm interested to see what happens with this indoor golf league, though I think that's going to get delayed because there was a big storm that knocked out that. But like, I think at the end of the day, we need to remember what golf is and understand it for what it is. And that if you don't like watching, tournament golf, I don't think anything the Netflix Cup does is really going to make you like want to tune into the U.S. Open or the Masters or something like that, or even to take just a standard PGA Tour event, even one of the elevated ones. Like, I just don't like what the Netflix Cup was just so foreign to what watching an actual golf telecast is, and golf telecasts can be dry, and that's coming from a guy who loves golf and loves to watch golf. Like, sometimes you just got to know your audience, and like, unfortunately, maybe the audience is shrinking. I don't know. I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm just saying maybe we just need to understand what golf is in the whole lexicon of sports and entertainment. Other golf-related thing, John Smoltz, the former Braves pitcher, is moving on to the final stage of PGA Tour Champions Q School, which is hugely impressive. He's tried this a number of times before and had never finished better than T54th. He finished T14th. 1 over for the week. T14th was good enough for one of the 18 spots to move on to the final stage. I believe is in Scottsdale. I don't know when it is, but he's a great player, obviously. So that'd be cool to see. Let's do this one. Megan Rapinoe, whatever the fuck her dumb bitch's name is, got hurt in her final game, which sucks, by the way. I don't ever see an athlete get hurt. I don't care if I like him or don't. Like, don't want to see athletes get hurt. That sucks. That's a terrible feeling. Never want it to happen to anybody. So in her post-game, her post-game interview, she said, the fact that I got hurt today in my final game is proof that God isn't real. I'm paraphrasing. It was like, I'm not very religious, but this is, if anything, is proof that God isn't real. Holy shit, self-absorbed. Like, for real? That's your takeaway? Because you got hurt, God isn't real? Now, hey, I tend to agree with you. Don't think quite like there's a God in the sense that some people do. But, I don't think it's because I got fucking hurt playing a fucking sport. Like, how fucking self-absorbed is this bitch? Like, does she think she's that fucking important? I know she's like, Fuck you. Oh, yeah, it's not fucking war or fucking children being fucking assaulted and things like that fucking women being raped. It's not that fucking makes God not real. It's fucking your little fucking injury on the soccer field. God, she's a cunt. God, it's a perfect name for her. Fun thing I saw, this fucking place looks incredible. Montreal Percival Molson Stadium, home of the McGill University. I believe the Montreal Alutes play there as well in the CFL. Check this fucking stadium out. This stadium looks fucking incredible. Let me see if I can get into the right spot here, because this place looks awesome. Can I zoom? I used to know how to zoom. I don't know how to zoom anymore. But look at this fucking thing. There's a great hillside. This is a great picture. The sun is setting in the background. Oh, here we go. We're zooming now. We're zooming, but the picture's getting small. The picture got smaller as I zoomed. That was incredible. That went the exact opposite way of how I want it. Yeah, just check it out. And it's also like built into the back of the college here. Like you can see it in here, and the college is like back in there. Just an awesome setting. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here's a good one. It's fucking blurry as shit, but there's the idea. What about this one? I think this is an older one before they did some work on it. Oh, here's another good one. Just like, what a sick spot. What a sick spot. All right, we're gonna stop sharing that. That was cool. I don't know. I think I liked it. Also, I got like just looking on Google. I was trying to do something for work, like playing out a map and a trip, and I like scrolled up by accident, and I got to Alaska. I was like, let's just look around Alaska. Fucking Alaska is wild. There's just all these like little towns, like on the edge of the thing, like all through like the north, and there's just like nothing. Just like these little fucking towns. There's like a gas station and a fucking airport. Like all of them have a fucking airport, because that's how you have to fucking get there. You have to fucking fly, because you can't fucking drive through that fucking shit. Alaska's wild, man. Alaska's a wild place. Wild place. Where are we next? Ooh, let's talk about more people that suck. Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley sucks. And now she's out there. First of all, she's like the worst kind of politician. Like, goes from working in government and then gets on the board of fucking like, was it Raytheon or one of those fucking arms manufacturers? And it's like, oh, so fucking shockingly very pro-war. Great. That's what we need. Another one of them. Now she's rich. She wasn't before. Now she is. She wants everybody to have to ID themselves online. Hey, Nikki, I have no problem fucking being myself and saying who I am, but fuck you. Like, that is fucking ridiculous that the government should try and get into IDing people on fucking line. Go fuck yourself. You're fucking Hillary Clinton 2.0. Fuck off. You suck. You suck. You know it doesn't suck. The movie Walking Tall. Caught that on cable the other day here. Cable. Do people even say that? Caught that on the cable? Fucking, how old am I? Good movie. Enjoyed it. Still enjoyed it. Johnny Knoxville, The Rock. Fun movie. Did start watching For All Mankind as well. Kind of slow first episode. Second episode was good. We got ourselves a nice cliffhanger. I am struggling just a little bit with the fact that like the new director at NASA is the guy who played Marv from Home Alone, and I'm struggling. I don't think it's a huge spoiler. They get to they land on a comet in space in the first episode, and I'm just so pissed that this guy didn't scream out, "Harry, we've reached the asteroid." I know. I can't look back. He's fucking Marv to me. He's fucking Marv. So yeah. All right, let's wrap this up. But here first, just want to say one more thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say. It's Thanksgiving week. Hope everyone enjoys Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is, once again, by far the best holiday there is in the world. Football, food, booze, friends and family. It does not get better. That is the best holiday there is. You don't have to worry about any stupid gifts or people being let down by your stupid gifts or not being let down by not, having money for gifts. You just get together, eat some food, you hang with your friends and family, the people that mean the most to you in the world. There's no better holiday. Football is awesome. Turkey is awesome. The fucking Thanksgiving meal is awesome. Turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and gravy, apple pie, pumpkin rolls. Rolls with butter, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes. Don't let anyone fucking tell you Thanksgiving isn't the best holiday, because if they do, they're wrong. And if there's someone out there that says Thanksgiving isn't a good holiday, you just don't need them in your life at all. I'll allow you to be wrong that Thanksgiving isn't the best holiday, but if you tell me it's not a good holiday, or if you tell me it's not a good meal, you're wrong. You're an idiot. All right, let's go wrap it up. Happy Thanksgiving. Closing time, everybody. As always, just want to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As always, again, thank you to producer Kevy. He's the best. He keeps this thing rolling. So thank you. I'm looking to do something fun and something big for the 100th episode, so please be on the lookout for that. Back next week, there's loads of football to talk about. We got college basketball going. We got news of all sorts coming in. The NFL is really picking up steam. It's a great time of year. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. We'll be back next week. If you need Liquid IV, 20% off. Promo code OWH. Till then, peace.